Hey everyone, I'm SpencerFan1937, and today I'll be reviewing Neville. So, this review, just like my last review on Molly, was also requested by the YouTube channel Haha Cucumbers about 6 months ago. So, thanks for that request. Here's the video. So, Neville's character first appeared in the television series during the hit era, so he doesn't have a railway series counterpart. A lot of people aren't really fond of the hit era, and in my opinion, rightfully so. But it did bring us some decent characters, and overall, I didn't think it was that bad. But enough about that. Neville didn't really have much appearances throughout the series. He had a handful of episodes he was in, mostly just cameos and a few other things where he played a more crucial role in the episode. But Neville's character quickly grew a reputation for being a nice character who often just got in the wrong situation at the wrong time. So, honestly, a pretty relatable premise, to be perfectly honest. But he didn't really have a long run in the series. He appeared later on when they started transitioning into CGI, but he quickly fizzled out after that. And I think his last appearance was in the early 2000s. Around the same time, this model here actually was pulled off shelves. Speaking of the model, Neville's model was actually active between I think 2006 and 2009. So around the time his character actually appeared in the series. So the first thing you notice about the model is that he has this weird, well, not weird, but definitely different, more compact shape. He is obviously a tender engine, but the black, like the jet black livery on top of his compact appearance, makes him look a bit odd. And a lot of people actually thinks he looks like a diesel, and he was often teased for that during the series, if I'm correct. Um, so that's definitely an interesting character premise. But in terms of the model itself, if you look here, the first thing you notice about him is the striking black paint. His entire model is essentially just entirely black. There's like a few instances of red, connected to Daisy on accident, a few instances of red and grays and other shades and stuff like that. But for the most part, this model is literally just black. So definitely true to the original television series. Sorry, and of course the model he was based off. In fact, the model that he was based off of, if I'm correct, from an old Mr. MPS video that I saw a while ago, he referred to him as an ugly duckling, or at least that's how he was referred to, the original model. Not his character, but just the model that his character was based off of. So that's an interesting random fun fact, I guess. But moving on to the model itself, if you look at just the main engine, you could see he has three wheels on either side, and on the left and right side, he has this kind of ascending step pattern here that goes up into the cab. Minor details like these small details here and here, and he also has a small cab with the numbers 33010. This is of course mirrored on the opposite side, so not much going on there, but just Neville. Just ordinary Neville. That's about it. The back, similar to Molly's model, also has this indentation here, this indent that's kind of a slit in the back of the cab. And then on the top, there's a lot more plastic than one may expect. Some minor details here, and they continue the step pattern ascending to the cab, but both of his domes here are actually made entirely of this black plastic mold. So that's interesting. And the front, the face is very true to his original television series counterparts. I think they did a great job with that. And of course, one thing you may notice is that because the boiler like descends upon his face. And by the way, I forgot what this is called. I think it's called the smoke something. It sounds boiler, but it's connected to his funnel. This is also made of plastic, but his buffers are so small. Like you look here, the back of the cab is a lot wider than the front of the engine. It's a lot more thin. And I think that was on purpose. Like, if you look at it from this way, you could clearly see that it's descending to his face and it's kind of becoming more narrow and narrow as you go. So, on the bottom, it's just his name, Neville, and round magnets, main chassis, all the rest. The wheels you could see are printed 2003, just like my Molly model. So moving on to the tender. It's a lot more simple than other tenders, but still I thought they did a good job. just no details on the either side of the front, except for this black streak, which actually is pretty rare. I don't think there are many tender engines who have the buffers actually represented through something, so that's definitely interesting. The back also has the red streak there, along with what appears to be a ladder for his crew to climb onto to apply coal, and some random detail there. I presume this detail on the top of the tender is for water, and this coal mold here, it's definitely a little different, lots more smaller and compact, but I think that was on purpose. And you also have this kind of thin coming out of the top of the tender, so definitely a cool model, more square, more compact, but very fitting. One thing you may notice is that, oh, by the way, just round magnets and just says Neville's Tender, and the dates are, of course, 2003, the same. But one thing you may notice about when the model is put together like this is that, like, when you just look at it by itself, it just looks a little odd, to be perfectly honest. It doesn't look like a full Tender engine. It does, more like a combination of, like, Mike and, like, you could see Mike back there. Mike and, I don't know, maybe like Murdoch or something like that. Because his build is really small, but like the details and the model, parts of the model are just larger, and the proportions just seem a little weird. But I'm pretty sure that's just because it's how the actual engine in real life works and how, how the model looked. So I guess that's a good thing on part of the people who designed this. In terms of the model itself, like I said, it looks a little weird, definitely unique, but still kind of cool. A lot of engines have all these bright colors, and it's very, going out and out there, and like Molly, as I mentioned many times before, or Daisy or Mike. But Neville's simple black paint actually is very simple, and I actually enjoy it a lot. Well, not a lot, but it's definitely something. So, in terms of having this model in your collection, definitely not like completely necessary. There's obviously other black tender engines with like black liveries like Donald and Douglas and all the rest. But I think Neville, it's just a unique character, and he's definitely a symbol of like the hit era and the new characters they were coming up with at that time. So definitely not a requirement, but if you can and if you have a lot of disposable income and you're building a collection, I would say why not. So that is in essence the Neville review. Just like all my previous reviews from the past few days, I haven't introduced him on my series yet, just because I've already had so many episodes planned. There's really no way to fit him in anywhere. But still, a cool model, a cool character, and he's unique, he's interesting, and most importantly, he's a nice character. He's just your regular old steam engine working on some top and hats right away. So that is in essence the Neville review. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for season 3. Thank you.